Hello, and we are live. Hello, you guys. It is episode 7 of Bubble Talk, and I am coming to you from Monterrey, Mexico. I am here teaching a dance certification program, and I was determined not to be consistent. Keyword consistent. And so I'm here with an awesome show, you guys. I'm so excited for you to meet Mack Blankenship. He is a 7-time Ironman finisher. I call him Mortgage Mack. He said he liked it. And I'm going to let him come on now and introduce himself. And he is going to talk a little bit about himself. And here he is.
Hi, Tony. Yes.
I'm so excited to have you on my show. You know, we've had a little moment here to talk, and we found ourselves deep into conversation. This guy is kind of made of the same cloth and has really interesting concepts and ideas that I think you guys out there are going to really, really enjoy. Thank you guys for tuning in. I see Randall there, and I see my mom, Mary Helen. How are you guys today? Thank you so much for watching. Matt, go ahead, take it away.
Great. You know, I think that we started the day out with a problem, didn't we?
Yes, we did.
And you know, and I think that our conversation earlier is if I have anything to share, I think it's because I've just had to solve lots of problems in life.
We do that every day, don't we? As entrepreneurs?
Yeah. But you know, it was fun today. It wasn't fun. I mean, it was a stressful event this morning because, you know, my laptop died on me yesterday, and I wasn't quite sure how I was going to get another laptop today because, you know, my home office was shipping me one from San Diego, and then Randall and I got together and tested this on cell phone. So this does work on cell, which was kind of cool. But eventually we solved the problem, and so.
Well, I'm so excited to have you on my show, Mac. And one of the reasons that you intrigued me is I actually did get to watch your interview. Actually, I was listening to the interview because I was driving, I remember, in a rainstorm when you were on Randall's show. And I loved your ideas about finishing 7-time finisher of the Ironman, because I'm a runner. And so we had that kind of same, you know, I lost my train of thought. Same common denominator. Sorry. So I thought I would love to have him on my show to talk about the parallelisms between how you prepare for that type of high fitness, high endurance event and how you attack your daily entrepreneurial business. Like, what are the parallelisms? Let's start on that.
You know, I think that for me, when I started doing Ironman, the meaning for that was, for me, the passion for me. And I think that that's critical. You find a passion.
So you were saying that when you started, you're really passionate about it, but when you had your business, you weren't as passionate.
I wasn't. So I didn't become really passionate about being an entrepreneur or developing the Mortgage Mack brand until much later. But, you know, I was passionate about doing Ironman because of my wife. That's what she loved to do, and that's how I spent time with her. And I had in that, I developed a lot of relationships that really had a tremendous amount of meaning to me. And I think being an entrepreneur, you kind of do the same things too. And I think that those are the things that keep you going on a daily basis, is you have to find that passion. And I read a really good book called Man's Search for Meaning, and I really recommend it to anyone. And for those that don't know my story, you can Google Mack, and the second word is cyclist, and then the third keyword would be Memorial Herman. And so I was really passionate about doing Ironman, and not so much passionate about being a mortgage banker, because I've been a mortgage banker for 20 years, and my business was really just on cruise control.
Wow.
You know, I had a database of 5,300 people and emails, and
you're just rolling.
I was. You know, I got 40% of my business out of that database on an annual basis. I marketed to them. Then I had some real estate agents that I did business with, and I was okay with that. And I spent my weekends training for Ironman, and to kind of give you what that looks like. You know,
were you self-trained? I'm sorry to interrupt.
I was originally, yes. Okay. I was originally. Yeah, okay. I self-trained originally, and but just like being an entrepreneur, I made a lot of mistakes that that maybe had I reached out and had a coach and a mentor, which I highly recommend that if you're an entrepreneur to have a coach and a mentor, which I have a couple of them. But as I was saying, is that, to put this into perspective, Ironman, in 2017, I swam 250,000 yards, I biked 5,000 yards, and I ran 1,000 yards.
Wow.
But if you Google my story, the crash happened in February 2016, and it left me and my wife and family and friends and everybody that was a part of that event just devastated. And it was necessary for me not to work for a long time.
I don't know how personal you want to get, if we want to get so personal and touch on that, but basically it was the most, you said, devastating event of your life.
Absolutely.
Hands down. And
hands
do you feel that it takes, because I know you're going to be successful. I know you're successful now. I know I'm going to be successful. I'm going to continue to be successful. And I am successful in my own right in certain genres right now. But I know you and I strive, like I said earlier, we are made of the same cloth, for much bigger and broader and larger potential for ourselves. We strive daily to continue to grow our business. We feel like we're not even near what our full potential can be. But does it take a devastating event like that to motivate us to be better? Or can a mentor do it? Can a coach do it? Can someone who's just kind of going through life, middle of the road, humdrum, basic everyday routine, can someone like that truly reach their fullest potential without ever having something traumatic or knocking them down to their feet, to their knees? I mean, what's your perspective?
My perspective is I believe that they can, if they can find something that they're passionate about. And I believe that really is where life begins. And life I think at some stage really began for me when the crash happened, because for the first time in my life, I knew every single day what my purpose was. And it was to be there for my wife every single day. And I abandoned basically everything. I abandoned work. I didn't obviously abandon my children, but nothing else was important on a daily basis. Mm-hmm. And I think you can find that same kind of passion without having to hit some sort of bottom in your life, or having to be derailed from cruise control. But that's my story, and that's how I began but when it was all over. And, mm-hmm. and the unfortunate part about it is that many couples do not survive that, right?
Right.
And so then I began to find this gap in my life where my passion was Ironman, but realizing that I need to go back to work and rebuild a career.
And that's where you're at.
And that's where I'm at. And I decided, and then I had people that inspired me, that knew my story. One of them, his name is Mark. He's a leader in the oil and gas industry online. And he looked at me and he said, Mack, you need to rebuild your business online, because that's where the audience is. And he began to show me how, and he has a way that he believes in doing that, is with, building a blog. And if anybody's out there, I would love for you to subscribe to teammortgagemack.com, my video blog.
You're killing it. You're killing it. I did my homework last night. Like I told you earlier, I'm on very little sleep. I'm trying to do the same grind you are. I'm at a snail's pace compared to you. You're just like boom, boom, boom. I mean, you're doing it, and that's amazing. I mean, that's really, you inspire me. And so I think that, and the people that inspire you, I think that it's important that people realize that these are not just frivolous Facebook Lives that we're doing, that we are really passionate people that really care about giving out pertinent information that's going to help some other individual, inspire them in some way, in some positive manner, to either get out of their funk or help their business grow, or understand that we didn't come from the picture perfect, unrealistic expectations that we talked about earlier, that we've we've lived lives and we've had trials and tribulations and we've had more devastating things happen than most people would like to, talk about. But the reality is we're here now, and we're using social media to in our behalf. We're using it to grow our business, and so I wanted you to tell me what it is, if you had someone out there who's thinking about starting a business but is unsure of this whole social media idea, what advice you would give them.
Find a mentor.
Perfect.
Find a mentor. I mean, and my
You
mentor.
named one. Other mentors, do you?
My first mentor found me.
Oh, wow.
We were friends at my gym, and he knew my story, and he followed us on Facebook. And folks, if you want to add me to Facebook and you want to follow the story, you can go back to February 2016 and almost follow the day-to-day events. I mean, it was just an absolute tragic event, and the process of that survival and the level of suffering was just beyond human comprehension. But so I would encourage you, find a mentor that inspires you. Okay. And so my first mentor was Mark LaCour, who inspired me to change the direction of the traditional way of doing business. And then someone introduced me to Gary Vee. And then one day I was on my LinkedIn account. Are you ready for this one?
Yes.
And then I found this cool guy named Freddie Gorgeous.
Freddie.
And I was looking at what Freddie was doing, and I said, you know what? I think it would be really good to bring this content that Freddie is generating to the real estate community. And though that's where what was born out of this was Freddie. And Freddie and I started doing lunch and learns. And then, I had spent the better part of 2017 making cold calls to real estate agents and getting 2 appointments a week if I'm lucky. To now agents email me and say, hey, we'd love for you to come to our office and talk to us about LinkedIn, talk to us about Facebook. But keeping in mind that I didn't know how to do any of this stuff in November of 2017. But in today's world, you can learn to do anything on YouTube. Maybe not anything, maybe not fly a plane. You can learn how to build video, right? You can learn how to build a website. I learned how to build a website. I learned how to do search engine optimization on the back end of that with counseling from my first inspiration, Mark LaCour. But then one day I saw this other cool guy on LinkedIn who was doing some cool stuff with Facebook, and I think you know him.
Yes, I do.
His name is Randall Chestnut, and so I didn't reach out to Randall on my own. I went, hey, Freddie, you think you would introduce me to Randall?
Yeah, and I met Freddie through Randall.
There you go. So Freddie's been giving Randall the hookups for a long time now. Yeah. And so then I brought Randall out, and he began to inspire me to continue to build my brand, build that brand on social media, do a Facebook Live, eventually do my own podcast, and eventually do my own Alexa skill. But the thing I want to share with you is that is what I think prepared me for this.
Okay.
Is Ironman. I love to do Ironman. I love to stand on the beach at 7 a.m. and listen for the cannon to go off and jump in the water with 2,500 athletes. I love the concept of having those butterflies into your stomach to where it almost hurts just before the race starts, Wow. And it makes you feel young again is what it does for me at 50 years old. But those skills that I've learned over those years to do Ironman, I believe, has prepared me for this new journey of entrepreneurship. So now I'm not interested in just building a mortgage business, but now I'm interested in building a brand that I can leave some sort of legacy at some point in the future for kids, grandchildren. I have 2 grandchildren and 1 on the way. So now it has a different passion associated with it. And I draw the parallels to, I was a runner. I didn't know how to swim. I used to be afraid of getting in the water. I used to call my kids and say, hey, Dad loves you. So if Dad makes it out of the water, if Dad doesn't make it out of the water tomorrow, I just wanted you to know. It's so true.
What?
It took me years to develop swim skills to where I didn't have those feelings of anxiety that I was going to drown. And one time I almost did drown. I stood up on the beach at the Woodlands, and I
Oh
looked out and I
yeah,
said,
that's
"Oh
where
my
I live.
goodness." I'm like, "Oh my goodness, are you going to quit right now?" And I think being an entrepreneur, you have those moments. You're like, "Am I going to quit right now?"
Oh
And
sure.
you make it, and you're at a crossroads at that point, and you're like, "No, I'm not. I'm just gonna get back in the water, and I'm gonna get my feet wet. I'm gonna get my head wet, and I'm just gonna try to create some sort of path that I can endure at this moment until I can build the endurance and the strength and the skill level, because you got to develop your skill levels. And in being an entrepreneur, it's not just one skill level; it's a big set of skill levels
Oh
that
sure.
are critical to long-term success. And so being an Ironman, it's not just the skill level of, you don't have to be the fastest runner, the fastest swimmer, the fastest cyclist. You got to be reasonably good at all three
I
to do
love
really
that.
well.
I love that. I mean,
Um,
I think it's the daily fear of, I remember, had it been not for Randall Chestnut, he has inspired me to do all of this. I mean, 8.5 months ago, I didn't have a laptop. I didn't know the first thing about Facebook. And then here I am in short 8 months. And I can't, I don't know if I'm like you, Matt, or if you're like me, but I can't get enough of it. Like I am Googling things. And I want to learn how to do them myself. I'm
yeah,
sharpening my skills. I'm
that's
adding
right.
to my skill level. I'm educating myself. Those are the things that like you said, I have now a passion for this. Like Randall will make fun of me sometimes and say, gosh, I've created a beast. You're a beast. And I said, I am, and I ask him technical questions that I would have never asked him 8 months ago, that I actually
Yeah.
understand and know about and need some help with and direction with. And he's right there to help and support me. Of course, you honed in on that mentor, but isn't it, I hope that people are listening to what you just said. It's about creating endurance. It's about creating your skills and you have many, and perfecting those skills and not being good at just one thing. Because you said that you knew people could swim faster than you, could
Yeah.
run faster than you, but
Hmm.
yet you and your friend finished
Yeah.
faster than they
Yeah.
did.
My best friend always finishes faster than me, right?
You're going
But
to
we
give him
have,
that.
but we have other friends that, they either swim really fast, but, maybe to bike really slow, or don't, or what seems to be the dominant is people that run really, really fast, but just don't have any legs when they get off that bike. And, but I think that, I've heard Gary Vee talk about self-awareness, and I think being an entrepreneur requires self-awareness. Being an Ironman requires self-awareness. I know when I'm out there that I know what I think the key is to stay within the framework of your skill level until you expand that skill level. And if you're at a race and you want to finish, you have to stay within the framework of your skill level. And I would also tell you that, I've been at Ironmans before where I've stood on the beach knowing I was ready, right? But I've stood on the beach having doubt, right? Because, that preparation process beforehand, maybe I wasn't as diligent and honest with my preparation process. I think, the same is true for an entrepreneur. It's a daily process of preparation to eventually to create some sort of goal. But, what happens when you get to the finish line? Is it over?
Yeah, are
No.
you done?
Sign me up for another one.
Oh,
And you
good
set
stories
you
like
set a
that.
new goal. Yes.
Yeah,
And because that's
that's a lot like
what
business.
it's a lot like business. Sign me up for another one. Let's go do this again,
Next project,
and let's set a new boundary for ourselves.
set the bar
And
higher next
and
time.
but eventually what I plan to do is, now I pretty much do everything like you do, but eventually I'd like to take what I do really, really well in that process of becoming self-aware, and have resources that, that cut my video for me, that, strip the audio, do the
Yeah, that would
upload.
be awesome.
That's my dream, is eventually, have all of those mediums available as part of building my brand, but be able to pay somebody to do it, to where I can do this kind of thing, as because I think that this is really what I'm better at than the technical side.
Well, and I also believe that anybody out there who is in the world of business, either as an entrepreneur or working with a group or a company, social media is key. It's key to the success of your business. I still run into people, Mac, on a daily basis that say, oh, I can't stand it. It's so intrusive. And oh, I don't want to know what you're eating every day for lunch. And, they have such a negative vibe. First of all, I just kind of walk away from people like that because I'm never going to be able to convince them. And I don't have enough time in the day to work with that type of negativity.
Yes.
But if I'm stuck in a plane next to that person,
Yeah.
or, I mean, it's obvious that I'm going to have to continue to communicate with them, I try to find ways of them understanding that I'm using this platform. First of all, you can go through my Facebook feed. I've never typed a negative thing about anyone, anywhere, any concept. I might have thought it, but you'll never see. I promise myself never to use Facebook for any type of negativity, period. That's just my personal situation. I stay away from it. I let people say what they want, do what they want. It's your life. Hey, it's a free platform, but I'm going to utilize Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram to benefit like you said, my legacy, my life, to benefit my business. I'm not out there. Yeah, I'm going to live the best part of my life 50 and on.
That's right.
Because I'm smarter and because I know and I'm aware, like my 77-year-old mom who's out there who says, I'm going to show this for a second, Mom, reminds me of my husband, your dad. So reminds my mom of my dad.
Thank you so much for that.
So resilient. He's such a resilient man, very, very strong. So that's a compliment. I love my dad.
I will tell you that resiliency for me personally over my lifetime has come through making lots of mistakes, just lots of them. And
owning that and being okay. I think that's part of that self-awareness that we talked about earlier, that you have to really understand yourself, know your strengths, know your weaknesses. It's not always pretty when you start to peel back the layers of the onion, so to speak. But once you figure out who you are, okay, these are the cards that I'm dealt. This is who I am. Then and only then can you truly build yourself to a point of successfulness. I mean, your idea of successfulness, you place those expectations in your mind and you say, okay, I'm going to focus and I'm not going to stop until I reach those goals, like Iron Man. Like I'm just going to be honed in, narrow-minded, tunnel vision, doing this until I cross the line. And then what? Like you said, on to the next project. Because it becomes part of your demeanor. It becomes part of your make, who you are.
It becomes part of you, I guess it becomes your lifestyle.
Yay, bingo.
Yeah, it becomes a lifestyle.
So tell me a little bit about your lifestyle. Now we're going to go a little reality TV and not be so serious for a second. What's a day in the life of Mortgage Mack like now? Like somebody who's finished 7, I mean, are you like still diligent about what you eat? Are you exercising every day, or are you passive with it and you're more focused on your business? What's your daily routine like?
I always try to watch what I eat. I don't eat fast food. I don't do a lot of sugar. I'm getting feedback. Are you getting feedback?
No.
I don't eat a lot of sugar. But I did take 6 weeks off because I think, as we talked about it, you asked me if I had downtime, and there was a period of a couple of years where I just didn't have. I mean, there was a period where I trained for Ironman for probably a year and a half, and there just really wasn't any downtime because, I get up at 4 o'clock, 10 to 4, start training by 5, train for 2 to 3 hours a day.
What was that training like?
That's Monday through Friday, and then Saturday. Saturday is 4 to 6 to 7 hours of training, and Sunday is up to 4 hours of training, and I wouldn't get a day off because I have a great coach. Right, my coach is in the Woodlands. It's called Mach 5 Racing.
Oh, wow!
Michelle LeBlanc up there in the Woodlands is my coach, and she would give me a day off, God bless her, about every 21 days.
Wow!
And so what happened is...
So where are you at now? Like
now, I'm just kind of restarting again. I took 6 weeks off. And, I have a best friend that I've been doing this with for a long time. And he took a lot of time off during the holidays. And I didn't do that because I'd just come off of my best race ever. And maybe I should have done that in retrospect because I think you need some downtime.
You do.
You need some. And I just didn't take any. And then it's the overloads associated with doing Ironman where, it's 21 hours a week. of training, and then the addition of all the things that I was trying to do in my new entrepreneurial um, experience, I had to make a decision. And
Yeah.
and this time, I think my entrepreneurial business or Ironman took a back seat sometimes to that. But now, right now, I just kind of restarted here recently. I'm starting to get up at 4 in the morning again. Try to be at the gym by 5:30, 6 o'clock. I'm just not as committed to it at this stage.
Mm-hmm.
But that'll change at about 20 weeks out, because I think I'm going to do Ironman Texas again. I keep telling myself that.
Awesome.
I really would love to do Ironman Texas 2019. It's just, I can't find a good reason not to. And I just love the whole experience associated with it.
Well, do it for all of us who can't do it. If that's any motivation at all, do it for all of us who can't do it.
Yeah, but at the same time, I still want to continue to build that brand that's called Mortgage Mack. And if I begin to develop that brand, and I think that Ironman is getting in the way of that, I think at 50 now, I think I have to make this my priority right now. I really do.
Sure. And so tell me where your business is now, and if people out there, especially all my fellow realtors, I know some of my real estate friends are watching. Karen Gomez, I know you're out there. Tell them where they can find you, and tell them what it is that you do and what you specialize in.
So I've been a mortgage banker for 25 years. I've done thousands of transactions, and there's a friend of mine that's here. His name, I can see him. His name is Zach, and Zach could tell you why. I've done business with him and his team for the better part of a decade. I started in May 1, 1993, so I've been doing it a really long time. But I have a fantastic team now, and I really haven't had a team like this in a long time. And I think the thing that makes the company that I work for different in the transaction process is we turn it upside down. So, the guys I work for are entrepreneurs.
I think I lost your sound.
Okay, can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Okay. The guys I work for are entrepreneurs.
Yeah, try it again.
Can you hear me?
Let me ask our viewers, can you hear him? I can barely hear you.
Hear me now?
Anybody out there? I have 6 viewers. Anybody tell me if they can hear us both, please? It happens.
Right, yep. I had it happen last week.
You guys, do we have sound? Mom, Karen, anyone out there is watching? Can you hear? I can't tell. Okay, go ahead.
Okay.
Because I can personally hear you, but I'm not sure they can.
So they can find me at Team Mortgage Mack. That is my video blog. They can find me at mortgagemack.com. But the thing that I think that we do that's so differently is we have a genuine desire to go help real estate agents do the same thing that I'm doing. And that is to create a presence online, an online presence, because that's where the attention is. And you can't sell anything unless you get someone's attention.
Absolutely. I'm coming to see you, Max, as soon as I get back to the States. I'm all in.
Okay. And then here's the other thing that fundamentally that as a mortgage company that we do that's so different is, I've been in the business for 25 years, and traditionally the business, we do qualification letters and we send them out to you, and then you send us a contract, and we spend 2-3 weeks processing on a 4-week contract, and we go to underwriting last. Right?
Mm-hmm.
Well, the company I work for, we don't do that. We go to underwriting first.
Oh, wow.
So we approve the loan within the first 10 days of the contract.
Oh, wow.
And then we process. And our process is typically made up of just developing the documents so that we can comply with the requirements associated with selling it in the secondary market. And what we typically do is identify challenges associated with the mortgage transaction within that 10-day time frame on a 4-week contract. That gives me 20 days to sort out problems. In the traditional way that mortgage companies process their loans, that when they underwrite at the end, they may have a week before closing to sort out a problem.
Oh, yeah.
And so what it does is it has taken out a great deal of stress out of my life.
Yes.
And given me the freedom to come visit with real estate agents. So I take loan applications on Mondays and Fridays, But Tuesday, Wednesdays, and Thursdays, Tony, I am booked almost every single week, either with real estate teams or individual agents, showing them how to do the things that I've learned how to do in this new venture, and so that they can implement in their business, and showing them the things and trying to give away the things that Randall gives away to me, and to create brand for him, create brand for me, and
win-win situation.
It's a win-win situation. And now I'm no longer making cold calls because people recognize my name, or they've seen me at an event, or someone has told them that, I interviewed a guy yesterday. He says, "Hey, you need to go see this guy. He can help you and your team develop an online presence." And so it's really made all the difference in my business moving forward from here. And so,
absolutely, I'm excited. We do have you back. We do have sound back, by the way.
Awesome. Cool.
We're good. And they heard all of that.
Excellent.
So I'm going to go ahead and put your mortgagemack.com up, just in case during that little lag they weren't able to hear.
And Mack is M-A-C-K. Now I'm not quite sure how my parents and my grandparents came up with that.
Mortgage Mack needs to be my team's back at home, so I'll make sure M-A-C-K.
M-A-C-K. I think, I vaguely remember my father,
mm-hmm.
but his name was Mack.
Oh.
I'm a junior.
Well, I want to tell you, I have really, really enjoyed our conversation, and I'm going to be reaching out to you as soon as I get back to the U.S. I want to thank everybody who watched today. Again, I hope you understand that the reason we do Bubble Talk, or the reason I do Bubble Talk, is I want to give people different perspectives on fitness, fashion, and lifestyle. And I think we hit right on the money with fitness and lifestyle, and the lifestyle of an entrepreneur. Not always the luxury lifestyle and the fleeting, influencer lifestyle that so many people, connect to me, but the daily life of an entrepreneur. And people who know me and know me personally know it's a constant grind. It's every day. It's all day long. And I thought it would be so cool to have Mack on and talk about the parallelisms, which he did touch on very, very well, between his preparation for Ironman and what it takes to be an entrepreneur in any business, but specifically the mortgage business for him. I appreciate all of your time. I know it's been a crazy day for you and me too. Yeah. I want people to know that we're now a podcast, and I will be uploading this to iTunes. So Bubble Talk Yay is now on iTunes.
Yay, that's my next gig.
And then they can reach me at, here we go. Let me put yours back on real quick before I stop. There's the right Mortgage Mack.
That's the right Mortgage Mack. And
that's how you can reach him.
Team Mortgage Mack also. TEAM, and then Mortgage Mack is my video blog.
Okay, yes. Team Mortgage Mack.
Team Mortgage Mack is my video blog.
Okay, great. I'm also going to talk a second to you and to any of my friends out there who I have stretchyourlifestyle.com, which is my stretch series, but I also have been hired to teach Ballet Lubbock. I'm here at the dance certification program in Monterrey, Mexico, teaching first and second year dance instructors for their certification here to teach in Mexico. So I write syllabi for jazz and lyrical dance, but I train mostly to teach stretching. So stretching is really, really vital and important. I do it on a daily. So you can find me at stretchyourlifestyle.com if you're interested in purchasing. I have only one series out, but I am working on doing a series for runners because I'm a runner, and a series for pre-professional dancers, because I do train at a very, very high level dancers, and they want to know, what can we do to become hyper flexible or to become more flexible. So I've got several things in the making, but I'm like you, I've got to focus more right now on my real estate business and grow that to a point where I can feel comfortable about turning my back. Right now, it's just, I'm tunnel vision, with
or
this.
Delegating it.
Yes.
Delegating is the right term. Delegating some activities to others.
Yes. So you can follow me on Instagram, Tony_Rodriguez1. I also have a YouTube channel that I'm going to upload every episode. This is episode 7 of Bubble Talk. Please like, share, and subscribe. Mack, is there any closing like any words of advice, little nugget of information that you would like to give people out there?
I think that we kind of covered it, and so maybe I'll just summarize it. We started with passion and something that inspires you, and then finding a good mentor and developing a plan and begin to execute that plan with an end goal in mind, and then just get your butt to work.
Yes.
You got to get to work. You got to work.
Yes. I think it's important. I think it's important for real estate agents specifically, because I'm one, but I think it's really, really important for them to be consistent. I think the word is consistent, to find that plan, like you said, and put it in place and stay consistent. There'll be days that maybe you have no connection with anyone, and the next day you have 2 prospective buyers. I mean, that's just how it rolls. So you can't give up. I know for beginning realtors, it's difficult. It's hard. You're having to compete with 75,000 other realtors in the Houston area.
Yes.
So that alone could be intimidating, but don't be intimidated. Be you, be creative, stand out, educate yourself.
That's right. Be willing to modify your plan if it's not working. I think that's
great.
really critical. I really think that, because I think that there was a point where, I think all those things are relevant to being an Ironman and relevant to being an entrepreneur. And, there was times where you just kind of change your plan up just a little bit, and one of the things I did was I just decided I was going to have a coach. And so I've had a coach ever since. Really made a big difference in my business. So.
Yes. And Manuel Molina says, lead the generation. And we are trying, we are doing our best as entrepreneurs to motivate, to help, to pass out information, to give you information that we think is pertinent to helping you develop your business.
This is a great way to do it, right?
Yeah,
because we touch on each other's audiences and develop that brand name with each other's audiences. And
and whenever you need me, Mack,
you
got me.
I'm ready. I got you. So
yay.
Thank
you. Okay, you guys, we're going to say goodbye, and thank you so much for watching. This is episode 7 with Mack Blankenship. Check it out on YouTube. Have a fantastic rest of your day.
Thanks, Tony.
Thank you, Matt.